Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Morris Customs Truck Series here from the Finger Lakes region of New York in Watkins Glen, New York. Getting ready for our truck doubleheader. This is going to be an exciting one here tonight. We got about 3 minutes left here in practice. Look at that gorgeous view over the rolling foothills here up in the Finger Lakes here in Watkins Glen. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here on iRacing as we get ready, again, for our truck doubleheader. Let's take a look at our, currently at the top of the leaderboard, the 52 of Cody Moore. Known for being a bit of a road course specialist. Not too far behind him is his teammate, the 35 of Matthew Scott, and then Devin Butchno, who considers this race to be a home race for him. Currently in the third position. Eddie Morris and Dave Hartney, your top five here. And how about Brian Merle Jr.? I know it's just practice. Currently 7th on the speed chart. So having a great run so far in practice. Let's see if that's able to carry over to qualifying here tonight. Watkins Glen, New York, or Watkins Glen International Raceway, a very unique road course indeed. And we'll talk a little bit more about the track in a moment. We're just trying to get the points up here on the screen for you. We're going to have those up for you in just a moment. Had to make sure to have the right points up on the screen for you, and here they are. Cody Moore currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard, locked into the playoffs. Devin Butchino sits back in second. Blaze Richardson having a great rookie season in third. Eddie Morris and Matthew Fritz, another one of our winners, won last week to lock himself into the playoffs. And Brian Boyd, another rookie, sits in sixth. Brian Merle Jr., Joe Wright, Jay Stinson, Matthew Allen. Tied, three-way tie for 10th between Matthew Allen, Charles Ballas, and Joey McCox. So we got about 20 seconds left here in practice. Let's take a look at this track map. You can see the unique layout of this track. As Cody Moore pulls down to the infield. So, Matthew Scott has some issues here as well. So, actually qualifying is getting ready to take place. We'll take a little walk around the track on one of the drivers' qualifying laps here tonight. Of course, thanks for joining us here tonight. As always, don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcast. Of course, want to thank our great partners here that make this possible, starting with our series sponsor, Morris Customs. If you're looking for a brand new paint job for your car or truck on iRacing, check out Morris Customs at the link below at facebook.com/Morris Customs. Also want to thank Blue Ridge Motor Group as a great partner here with the SCSRA as well. And of course, our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To figure out which product's right for you, visit Of course, you can check out our great partner over at Race EPI as well for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Visit raceepi.com and support our channel by visiting intensitybroadcasting.com. We see Matt Scott down into turn number 1, down the hill into turn number 1, down the little short chute here towards the S's, which is uphill, through turns 3 and up to turn number 4. And down the long backstretch, we'll see lots of drafting opportunities here tonight into the bus stop chicane. Right, left, then right, to come downhill into what is known as the carousel, turn number 5. Then the trucks will skip the outer loop and stay away from the boot as they come down the short chute towards turn number 10. Because we don't count the boot, so this is turns 10 and the final turn 11 before we get our way back onto the front stretch. We'll ride along here on the roof of Matt Scott's truck. Give you a great look as he comes down the hill, heavy braking down the hill to the right, catching as much of that curbing as you can, using that curb to the left there. Don't want to go over that curb too much though, because you don't want to get caught for cutting the track. A penalty for overshooting the track limits. And a little bit of curb up through the S's, through turns 3 and 4. And use all of the track here to come down the backstretch towards the bus stop chicane. Hard on the brakes, down to second gear through turns for the bus stop here into turn number 5. Ooh, Matt Scott got a little loose there. Down into the carousel, which is, you'll see that a lot here tonight. There's not a whole lot of grip. Heavy on the accelerator, trying to use all of the track. These drivers can go all the way out to the wall there off the carousel as they make their way towards turn number 10. Again, a lot of curb here that you can use. You don't want to go too much over that curb because you don't want to get a penalty for exceeding track limits. Down onto the curbing again, all the way out to the wall, and that's a lap here at Watkins Glen as we see Matt Scott come down across the stripe, and he is going to go P2. See Brian Merrill Jr. making his way through the bus stop and down through the carousel. Runs incredibly wide there off the carousel. Let's see how much of the track he uses. Yeah, you see, oh, gets really loose off of turn number 5 down the chute towards turn number 10. And off of turn 11 and down the long straightaway, down the hill towards turn number 1. And Brian Merrill Jr. on his second lap is going to go P6. One driver having a great qualifying attempt so far is the 8 of Eddie Morris, up into the second position. Shoot between turns 10 and 11. Hard on the brakes through the right-hander to make his way. Oh, gets loose off of turn number 11. That's going to kill his time. It looked like he might have had a chance at the pole there, but unfortunately he's going to have to settle right now for the second position. Devin Bucciano jumps up into the third position on his first lap. Again, this is a home track for him, the Plattsburgh, New York native, which is right on the Vermont-Canada border. But still, it's New York, so it is a home track for him as he makes his way through the S's. Using all the racetrack to try to get a good run here down the backstretch and into the bus stop. Through the carousel, we've seen a lot of drivers get a little loose here off of the carousel. Let's see how much of the track Butchno uses, and he's going to take it right up over that curbing, which is completely legal at that part of the track. Down the chute here towards turn number 10. Heavy on the brakes, hard to the left. Using, again, all of that track that he can. Down off of turn number 11. A great lap for Devin Butchno. Let's see where that sits him here in the standings. And Butch stays in the 3rd position. Chuck Ballas sliding around through the S's. And yeah, the track is incredibly slick out there. We'll talk about that in just a moment. As Ballas makes his way up towards the bus stop chicane. And he's going to get his way through that hard right, left, left, right section. It looks like he's just going to take it easy the rest of the lap. Here's Jay Stinson just coming down off of turn number 1 and make his way up through the S's. Through the bus stop, down to the carousels. We have 2 minutes left here in this qualifying. Chase Stinson down the short chute here towards turn number 10. Stinson's going to go 11th quickest. Oh, gets loose there between turns 10 and 11, and that's going to do it for his qualifying attempt. Here's Brian Boyd in the 77. As he's coming down the short chute towards turn number 10. As qualifying is now over. Brian Boyd is not going to be able to get that final lap in. And let's take a look at our starting grid for our first race of 2. And Cody Moore is going to sit on the pole here tonight in race number 1 with Eddie Morris to his outside in the 8 Morris Customs machine. Devin Butchno is going to roll off from 3rd in the Mission 22 Dev Sports Cars machine with the 35 of Matthew Scott to his outside. Then David Hartney in the 43 rolls off from the 5th position with Joe Wright to his outside in position number 6. This is a home race for Joe Wright as he spent a lot of his youth here at Watkins Glen. Michael Provolt rolls off from the 7th position. I haven't seen Provolt in the races in a while. It's good to see him here taking on Watkins Glen with Brian Merle Jr. to his outside. Then Richard Hurst and Matt Allen will make up row number 5. Jay Stinson will roll off from the 11th position with Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence in 12th. 13th will be the 55 of Ryan Gomes, with Matthew Fritz to his outside from the 14th position. Brett Merle in the 11th roll off from the 15th position, with Brian Boyd in the 77 rolling off in 16th. Rick Ward from the 17th position, with Charles Balance rolling off 18th. 19th will be Gannon Cyphers, with Riley Gomes back in 20th. Blaze Richardson rolls off 21st, with Braxton Zog in the final 22nd position. So the field making their way down the backstretch, getting ready to go green. Let's take a look at the race information. This is going to be the tail of the tape here. As you can see, 79-degree air temperature, 53 degrees humidity, but that temperature, track temperature, 125-degree track temperature. That is going to make this track incredibly slick for these drivers tonight. So I expect to see many of these drivers slip sliding around here tonight. There's some great views around this racetrack for you here tonight. Of course, as I mentioned, this is a doubleheader race. So the first race will be a 25-lap race, and then we'll have a full field invert. Any drivers who had damage in the first race will be able to get brand new trucks, brand new set of resets for them as well. So it's going to make, and it's going to be a full invert. So whoever wins the race will have to start last, and the drivers in the back will start up front. But here we go. Pace truck takes the hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. Cody Moore leads them down to the green flag. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Watkins Glen, and immediately Cody Moore out in front of Eddie Morris as the field makes their way through turn one for the first time. A little further back, Joe Wright trying to make some positions up on the high side as the field goes through turns 1 and 2, or through the S's for the first time, and we see a couple drivers side by side through the S's. It's not where you want to be. It looks like everybody's going to make it through the S's cleanly as Cody Moore leads the field up towards the bus stop for the first time. And the first real passing opportunity of the race is the bus stop. We see Jay Stinson pulling out a line, trying to make a move down to the inside of his teammate, but Matthew Fritz able to keep the 31 at bay. And so far for the first lap, looks pretty clean. And one driver, that's Michael Provo back here. Looks like he was a little out of line in that Fortuna Iron Machine. He's got Brian Merle Jr. all over the back bumper. And just behind, we see Richard Hurst. Oh, tries to make a move, gets loose down to the inside. Doesn't look like that's going to bring out, no, there's going to be no cautions. As not even for stages, it's going to be just the racing here tonight. He's going to fall all the way back into the 16th position. As the field makes their way and completes lap number 1. Cody Moore pulling away from Eddie Morris. Ooh, Devin Butchino really loose there through the S's. Able to hold on to it for now, as you see right behind Matthew Scott, another road course racer right there trying to fight off Joe Wright. Joe's logged a lot of laps here at Watkins Glen as well. Again, a home track for the Wright brothers. Joe Wright, the Rochester, New York native. Rochester is not too far from Watkins Glen. As the field makes their way down into turn number 10. This time a much less eventful lap for a lot of these drivers. A little further back, we see some battles back here. Ooh, one driver, that is the 33 of Blaze Richardson, out on the grass, and these trucks do not brake very well when they have tires dipped out on the grass, as we see Gan Cyphers right behind trying to make a move. And Braxton Zog having some issues way off the track in the short chute between turns 10 and 11. Jay Stinson in a battle here with Ryan Gomes. Gomes going to take that position away, going up into the S's. And Richardson having some issues as he just went around in turn number 1. Let's take a look to see what happened to the 33 machine. Oh, Gan Cyphers gave him a little help there as Richardson was way wide off of turn number 1, and he's got to fall all the way back to the 21st position. Devin Butchno has a challenge on his hands. He has the 35 of Matthew Scott right there on the back bumper. As they come down the front stretch to complete lap number 3. Ooh, Scott really loose there, able to get the power down, pulls right up to the back bumper of Devin Butchino, and we'll see if that upsets the 68 truck a little bit, having that 35 right there behind the spoiler. And more issues here for Braxton Zog as he was trying to make his way off of pit road. He's stopped there waiting for the field to go on by. So Cody Morris still up in front. Cody Morris sitting back in second. Ooh, issues for Riley Gomes. Looks like he might have looped it here in the bus stop. Take a look to see what happened to the 9 machine. Looks like he was trying to make a move to the inside of Brian Boyd. And just overdrove the curb. Great job holding on to it and keeping that out of the Armco fence. Matthew Scott now starting to pull, or Devin Butchino is starting to pull away from Matthew Scott. Ooh, issues for Eddie Morris, our leader, or our second place driver. What's going to happen to Eddie here coming up through the S's and, just caught the wall just a little bit. Or the Armco fence, I should say, the Armco barrier. Doesn't look like he did any damage to the 8 machine, but lost a little bit of ground to Cody Moore. Ooh, and issues for Jay Stinson. A little further back. Another one just looped it. Looks like he looped it around coming through the bus stop here. See, Stinsy's got the 21 of Hurst right behind. Hurst going to make a move down to the inside. Oh, Hurst locked up the rear tires. That sent the 31 for a spin. And that's a classic case of what we like to call wheel hop. So what happens is these drivers have a lot of rear brake in these trucks to try to help them turn. And what happens is we see Brett Merle making his way down pit road. Matthew Fritz having some issues as well. Dan Cyphers down on the pit road. What happens is sometimes when they downshift, getting down into the corner, you get what's called wheel hop, and that's the rear tires start to lock up a little bit and they skip across the track, causing the rear end to hop, and the truck has no traction, and that's exactly what you see. The truck's looping them around, and unfortunately really easy to catch another driver when that happens. Looks like we had some issues for Matthew Fritz. So you can see what happened to the driver of the 29 here. Down into turn number 1. There's another case of the wheel hop. We saw the tires. There's tire marks just before that happened, and he locked up that rear end, and locked tires want to lead. in the chat. You see Tracy Carter saying, go Morris. And Nancy Hipcock says, let's go S&H Racing, 31, 29, 21. Drive smart, guys. And right now, those drivers are driving incredibly smart. The 31, Jay Simpson's back in the 12th position. The 21, Richard Hurst back in 14th. And the 29, Matthew Fritz up in 11th. So all three of those drivers having a great run as Cody Moore is catching the tail of the field. You see Dan Cyphers, who is just on pit road, out in just barely out in front of Cody Moore. Before we get pit stops happening, let's do a little I'll pump up the intensity for you boys and girls here on Intensity Broadcasting. Got a little bit of a battle shaping up here between Eddie Morris and Devin Butchno. Butchno was just all over the back bumper of the 8 of Morris. As more drivers hit pit road, we see Rick Ward down on pit road. A lot of damage to the front end of that 34 machine. Issues for Brian Boyd. Let's see what happened to the driver of the 77. A troublesome spot down into turn number 1. You see the truck just loop around. Didn't hit anything, so no harm, no foul. Matthew Fritz had some more issues here. Let's see what happened. Same thing we saw with him earlier, just locking up down into turn number 1. This is the second time he's had this issue down here. Riley Gomes having some issues here. Way off track. Able to slide back on track. And Blaze Richardson maybe had some issues here. Not sure what happened. Oh, Blaze looped it around here. Off of turn 11. Nosed it into the inside wall. Looks like he might have damaged the engine there. And that's why he had to reset and go back to the pits. So the field making their way up through the S's. Devin Butchno was on the back bumper of Eddie Morris. He's fallen off just a little bit. Dave Hartney right on the back bumper of Joe Wright as they make their way through the bus stop here. And ooh, issues for Gannon Cyphers. He's around in the bus stop. See what happened to the 2. This was right behind Joe Wright and David Hartney. Looks like he just got onto the gas a little too hard, stuffed it into the tires there at the end of the bus stop. Yeah, a lot of damage to that 2 machine. You see him pouring smoke. Tells me he's done some damage to the engine there. So just trying to limp it back around to the pits. How about this? Eddie Morris is starting to gain on Cody Moore a little bit. The interval is now just under a second. You see Eddie Morris last 3 out of the 5 laps. He's actually run a little bit faster than Cody. So Eddie trying to run down the leader. Wants to win the first of 2 races. Again, once this one's over in 15 laps, we're going to have a full invert. Eddie has some issues there. Runs a little high through the carousel, up out of the gray or into the gray, and that's not where you want to be. That gives you a lot of, you lose a lot of grip back there. We see Matt Scott in the 11 of Brett Merle. Brett is currently a lap down, and then this battle, Dave Hartney getting around Joe Wright down into turn number 10. Joe trying to cross him over down into turn number 11, but Hartney able to hold on to that position, move Dave Hartney up into the 5th position as Joe Wright makes his way down pit road. Of course, all these drivers are going to have to come down pit road one time in this 25-lap race. Same thing in the 30-lapper. 1 pit stop will be needed. Cody Moore comes up on the back bumper of Blaze Richardson, and Blaze really breaking into the corner a little bit later. Ooh, Richardson through the grass. And he's still down in the grass, so and a tough race for Richardson. He just pulls down on the pit road. I believe he's just going to retire from this race. See Michael Provault making his way off of pit road. Good to see Provault in the race here. I haven't seen him racing too much. The Eureka, California driver. Oh, more issues for Brian Boyd. Down into turn number 1. We've seen this a couple times now. Down into turn number 1 and just loops it around. Oh no, more issues. David Hartney having some issues here. Coming through turns 10 and down to turn 11. Oh, just dips it down into the grass. And that turns that truck around and, oh, just barely kisses the wall. Doesn't look like he did any damage. Backed it into the wall pretty squarely. But that's going to put him right down onto pit road. Devin Butchino on pit road now, as well as Brian Merle Jr. So a couple of the Neon guys getting their pit stops done as Cody Moore continues to lead. And now he has a almost 2-second lead over 2nd place Eddie Morris. So these two have been trading lap times pretty much consistently every lap. Eddie's faster than Cody for a couple of laps, and Cody runs a couple fast laps yet again. So as now Cody Moore coming down on the pit road, that's going to give the lead to the 8 of Eddie Morris. Matthew Scott's going to take over the 2nd position. Issues for Braxton Zog, who is stuffed. Looks like he's stuffed in the fence there. You see the front end of that truck. Not too happy as another driver just overcooked it down into turn number 1. Let's see if we can see what happened to Braxton here. Oh, you see the heavy damage already on the front of that truck. Not sure what happened there. We see right behind, though, we saw one driver, I believe is Devin Butchino. Maybe it wasn't Butchino. Somebody hooked it down into turn number 1. I'm trying to see if we can see who that was. You look behind. Oh, that was the 9 of Gomez, or Gomes, locking it up and overrunning the corner. So Eddie Morris has been down on pit road. He's down and away. Matthew Fritz just making his way down on the pit road, followed by Ryan Gomes and Jay Stinson. Matthew Scott takes over the lead here. And when we cross the line this time, we'll have just 10 laps to go. Couple drivers left have not pit yet. Matt Scott has not pit. Richard Hurst has not pit. Riley Gomes in the 9 have not pit. So see Matt Scott here is going to pass by pit road. See Riley Gomes still on those old tires, trying to run down Brian Merle Jr. I don't think Matt Scott's going to be able to stretch this fuel all the way to the end. As Matt Scott makes his way through the bus stop. Here comes Matt. No, Matt Scott's going to stay out for at least one more lap. He's got a 20-second lead over second place Cody Moore. Devin Butchino making his way around Charles Ballas as we see a couple drivers leaving pit road. The 55 of Ryan Gomes trying to make his way off of pit road now. As Matt Scott comes down into the bus stop. And Matt Scott's really slowed down on the racetrack. His last lap by was a 1:17.5. His fastest lap of the race was a 1:14.5. Tells me he's really slowed down trying to save enough fuel to make it to the end. A lap ago, looks like Ryan Gomes had some issues. Ooh, caught the grass, hit the outside Armco. That's why he was down on pit road, getting some damage repaired. As Matt Scott continues to lead. But now that interval back to Cody is just 19 seconds. With 8 laps to go, last time by, Cody was almost 3 seconds a lap quicker. Which means at this rate, Cody should be able to catch Matthew Scott in the next 5 laps. And with 8 laps to go, this could come right down to the end. Michael Proval trying to run down Richard Hurst, trying to take over that 7th position. more issues for the 57 of Braxton Zog. I see a lot of damage to that 57 machine, and I think that truck is just not running the way it needs to be. As now Matthew Scott does indeed make his way down pit road. Is this just going to be a splash of fuel, though? Cody Moore has passed him. I don't see tires going on the truck. He is down and away. Everybody else took tires, but it looks like Matthew Scott taking fuel only, falling back to the 4th position as Joe Wright coming down into turn number 1 on fresher tires. He might be able to make something happen here, but now Cody Moore out in front as Jonas Dallas having some issues. He's looped around in turn number 1, trying to get out of the way of the other drivers coming, and Cody Moore has a hard charging Devin Butchino behind. You see Brett Merle getting down onto the grass, and Eddie Morris right behind Butchino as well. So a battle could be shaking it up between our top 3 with just 7 laps to go. So 6 laps to go. Cody Moore out in front. Devin Butchino has a mirror full of Eddie Morris, and more problems for David Hartney down into the bus stop. Looks like he caught a little bit too much curb entering the bus stop, looped it around, was able to just slide it. Got it pointed back in the right direction without hitting anything, and here comes a couple trucks on through as well. So did lose a couple positions, but fortunately was able to keep that truck off the barriers. When we cross the line this time, we'll have just 5 laps to go, and Cody Moore right now has a hard charging Devin Butchino and Eddie Morris from behind. As Eddie's trying to make a move now to the inside of Devin Butchino, not in a position to make that happen, as Matt Allen has some issues here down into turn at number 1. Let's take a look to see what happened to the driver of the 127. Classic case of, oh no, it wasn't a classic case of wheel hop. It's a classic case of getting hit from behind. As the 9 of Riley Gomes just overcooked it. Looked like he had the brakes locked up and caught the back end of the 127 and spent that truck around. Just 5 laps remain, 4.5 laps remain in our first of 2 races here tonight. Eddie just not able to get through the bus stop as well as Butchino that time. And Butch is going to pull away a little bit. The lead that Cody Moore now has is 1.5 seconds. And Cody is coming up on some lap traffic. He sees the 2 of Gannon Cyphers out the front window. That might slow down the 52 a little bit down into turn number 1. Cody making the dive down into turn number 1. Cyphers staying out of the way, but here comes Butchino and Morris as Cyphers going to stay out of the way of those 2 drivers as they make their way up through the S's. Cody's lead is almost 2 seconds. Cody's really turned the pressure back on by extending his lead over second and third. Piece of a truck just came flying across the track. Don't know. I think that might have came off of. I think that came off the 127. Let's see what happened there, because I saw the drivers run over a piece of metal here, and yep, that's exactly what happened. You can see the back of the 127 fall off right there, go across the track, come back across the track, and Eddie Morris ran it over. Don't know if it did any damage to their trucks. Buffer between Cody Moore and Devin Butchino, as the 77 of Brian Boyd is right there. They are coming up on the 31 of, sorry, the 31 of Jay Stinson. Brian Boyd got really loose there off of turn 11, and you see both Devin Butchino and Eddie Morris having to take evasive action down into turn number 1. Eddie is still right there. So we ride along here with Devin Butchino as they make their way through the gears and up through the S's and down towards the bus stop. Great battle shaping up as Cody Moore is able to clear the 31 of Jay Stinson as it makes its way through turn number 11. Going to come down the front stretch towards the white flag. 1 lap to go in our first race. Cody Moore out in front by 2.5 seconds. See Charles Bowles running really wide, letting the leaders come on through. Unless something wild here happens, it's Cody Moore's race to lose. The battle right now, though, is for second place between Devin Butchino and Eddie Morris. Butch has a little bit of a draft here from the 31 machine, but he's also going to be held up by that 31 machine as they come through the bus stop. That's going to allow Eddie Morris to pull right up on the back bumper of Devin Butchino as they make their way down through the carousel. Morris loses a little bit of ground into the carousel, but off the carousel, is he able to use that momentum to try to make a run at Butchino down towards turn number 10. Doesn't look like we're going to see any last-ditch efforts here from the 8 of Eddie Morris as they make their way through turns 10 and through turn 11, and off of turn number 11, Cody Moore is going to win race number 1. Devin Butchino is going to come home second. Eddie Morris back in third. Matthew Scott trying to hold on to that 4th position. And back in 5th in his home race, the 82 of Joe Wright makes his way off of turn number 11. But your winner here in race number 1 is the 52 of Cody Moore. As we're waiting for the trucks to finally finish making their way around here Michael Provolt blows a little donut there for finishing the race. Still do have quite a few drivers still out there trying to finish the event. So we'll take a look at the results here of our first race. And Cody Moore gets the win. Devin Butchino comes home second. Eddie Morris back in third. Matt Scott and Joe Wright round out your top 5. Michael Provolt brings it home 6th. Dave Hartney back in 7th. Brian Merle Jr. brings it home 8th. Matthew Fritz and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, your top 10. 11th was Jay Stinson. Richard Hurst back in 12th. Matt Allen, Brett Merle, Ryan Gomes, your top 15. Riley Gomes brings it home in 16th. 17th, Charles Ballance. 18th, Brian Boyd. 19th was Rick Ward, Blaze Richardson, and Braxton Zog round out the field in the first of 2 races here tonight. And let's see if we can get a word with our first race winner, Cody Moore. Cody, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me? Cody, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me? Well, I think Cody might have stepped away to use the restroom there, so between races. So we'll see if we can get a word with him in just a moment. Right now what you're seeing is a couple drivers out there just getting a little bit of warm-up here between races. There is, the way they set this up was more like a heat race. Jeffrey Belk says DBC with 2 top 10s. Nice. Yeah, for sure. It's good to see the team I race with, Team DBC, having 2 top 10s here tonight. And let's see if we can continue that. Not that I'm partial. I'm not trying to be partial here, but some great racing for my teammates here tonight. But great racing as well for our top 3. And that was a battle there at the end between Eddie Morris and Devin Butchino. I don't have time for your trivial conversation, Cody Moore. Yeah, that's going to be the new quote for sure. As warm-up is again underway. Looks like we have... it's going to be 10 minutes. I don't know if we're going to do the whole 10 minutes or not. But while we've got a moment, let's thank our great partners that make this racing possible, starting with our series sponsor, Morris Customs, for all your iRacing paint needs. If you're looking for a sweet new whip, check out Morris Customs on Facebook at facebook.com/Morris Customs. There is a link down below in the description. Of course, you can help support the channel and support our boy Atlee Atman-Weiss by visiting IntensityRacing.com. A link down below in the description as well. We have hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, league apparel, as well as Atlee Atman-Weiss's merchandise and some novelty t-shirts as well. Hey, we've even got boxers in there too, so check that out down below in the description, IntensityBroadcasting.com. For all your iRacing setups and coaching needs, visit RaceEPI.com. Again, link down below in the description. Another one of our great partners is Blue Ridge Auto Group. There is a link down below in the description for that as well. So if you're in the Tennessee area looking for a brand new car or truck, check out BlueRidgeMotorGroup.com. And lastly, we don't want to forget our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Because Butt Kicker is an established and worldwide leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning product line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products, and figure out which one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Of course, Buttkicker doesn't just have gaming haptics. They've got speakers that you can put for cinema as well. They've got haptics that you can use for listening to music. You've got the Buttkicker Concert, designed specifically for musician monitoring on stage and studio use. The low-frequency transducer is used by the world's top touring groups: the Rolling Stones, Green Day, Shania Twain, Usher, Alanis Morissette, My Chemical Romance, Los Lonely Boys, and many other pro artists. So you can check that out down at thebuttkicker.com, of course, as well as they have their cinema package. And if you have a home theater, or if you are looking for a little haptic feeling in your seat when watching movies, visit thebuttkicker.com and check out the cinema section, as they have listed all the movie theaters that use their products for haptic feedback when watching movies. So I can see near me the AMC in Plainfield, Connecticut, has butt kickers installed in their movie theater. So it makes me want to go check that out. So again, so much that the butt kicker has to offer. So you can check that out down below. Looks like we still have about 3 minutes left here. Before we get our second race underway. Of course, as I mentioned, it's going to be a full field invert, which means Cody Moore is going to be starting dead last in the field on this second race. Eddie Morris will be starting second to last, and so on. Of course, we also want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, we do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to drop who you're rooting for tonight. I know who Belk's rooting for. I already know who Tracy's rooting for. She's been cheering on Eddie all night long. Nancy Hickox is cheering on the S&H Racing team. Actually, the S&H Racing team has changed their name recently. They are now known as Venom Racing. So, yeah, those boys having a good run, keeping the fenders on the trucks here tonight, and looking to have a little better race this time around, especially because they'll be starting up near the front this time with the full invert. Tomorrow night, don't forget to join for the Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series, as the Next Gen Series gets ready to take on Homestead. Of course, the call will not be here tomorrow night on Intensity Broadcasting, but you can find it over at NOMA, and we will put a link on our Facebook page tomorrow where to find the broadcast, or I know the SCSRA will be putting a link to the broadcast as well. Unfortunately, Atman Weiss will not be able to make the call, and of course, me and Joe will both be racing. So, but we will have the broadcast for you over on NOMA TV. Again, if you were here last week, it's going to be the same broadcast that was last week, but hopefully we'll have Atman Weiss back here the week after for the race at Indianapolis. Of course, that race at Indianapolis is going to be one of our crown jewel races. If you're unfamiliar with what that means, well, the league admins have picked 3 races in the Next Gen Series. The Daytona 500, or Devtona 500, the Indianapolis Oval, and Talladega Superspeedway as the 3 crown jewel events. And if the same driver can win all 3 events, there is a monetary bonus for those drivers. So something kind of unique, something special. And we're looking forward to seeing how that rolls out. So here we go. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing. And let's take you through the starting lineup here for your second race here. Whoops. Starting on pole will be the 57 of Braxton Zog, with Blaze Richardson starting in position number 2. Rick Ward and Gannon Cyphers will make up row number 2, with Brian Boyd and Chuck Balance back in row 3. The Gomes, both Riley and Ryan, back in row number 4, with Brett Merle and Matt Allen rounding out your top 10. Richard Hurst rolls off 11th with Jay Stinson from the 12th position. 13th will be Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, with Matthew Fritz back in 14th. Brian Merle Jr. and Dave Hartney back in row number 8. Michael Provo, Joe Wright back in row 9, and then row 10 will be Matthew Scott and Eddie Morris. And then starting tail of the field, the 68 of Devin Bucciano and the 52 of Cody Moore. So that's where we said a full field invert means that the lowest finishing drivers will be up at the front. It looks like Braxton Zog is not joining this race, so he'll be starting from the pits. So he's really struggled in the first race, wants to stay out of the way. So that's going to put Rick Ward in the 34 up on the pole for our second race. Looks like Rick Ward wants an ELL. He does not want to start up at the front either. So that's going to put Brian Boyd up on the pole for our second race here. So the field making their way, forming up here, and getting ready to do battle for 30 laps this time in our second race of the doubleheader. Love these great views from around here at Watkins Glen. Yeah, unfortunately, Nancy, we had a little scheduling conflict with Atlee for these past 2 races, this race and next race on Wednesday, but we'll be back on Intensity in 2 weeks' time as here we go. We're getting ready to go green flag racing. Brian Boyd is going to lead them down the front stretch towards turn number 1. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Watkins Glen, and this time down into turn number 1 for the first time in this second race. A little 3-wide action in the back. Michael Provo was just shoved in the middle. There's Dave Hartney going 3-wide, making a couple positions up here, and he's going to go all the way up into the 16th position. Michael Provo battling here as the field. Oh, 127 got really loose there in front of the field. That was Matt Allen, as that's Cody Moore making a wild move. Cody Moore just driving through the field right now, already up to the 11th position, so starting dead last in the field, and he is already up 11 positions into 11. And wasting no time getting himself back up towards the front. Devin Bucciano doing much of the same thing as Devin takes a look down to the inside of Ryan Gomes. He's going to take that position. Brian Boyd got a little bit in the grass there. He's going to lose the lead to Riley Gomes, as Devin Bucciano is going to try to outbreak the 21 of Richard Hurst down into turn number 1. Hurst got really loose there as we see Cody Moore making his way around Brian Merle Jr. Ooh, issues for Matt Allen, who's looped it around in turn number 1. Rick Ward, Braxton Zog able to avoid it. Let's take a look to see what happened here to the 34 machine. Just a little bit of wheel hop downshifting into, oh no, he was trying to do, sorry, that was the 127 that got a little loose there, and Rick Ward was able to avoid it. Brian Boyd and Brett Merle now battling for the lead as, oh, Gan Cyphers has gone around right in front of the field. Brian Merle Jr. gets caught up in it with Riley Gomes. That all happened right in front of the leaders, or what our faster cars, I should say, as Devin Bucciano is already up into the 4th position as he's trying to work on the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. And Cody Moore is back in the 6th position. Eddie Morris is driven up into 9th as he's trying to make his way around Stinson as Brian Boyd spins it off of turn number 11 and makes his way down pit road. Dave Hartney and Joe Wright battling for position, and we're going to lose timing and scoring for just a moment as we get it recycled here. Because of the heat racing, sometimes it just does not like. See if that fixes it. If not, we might have to restart the ticker or the timing, but that's all right. It's Devin Bucciano already up. Yeah, this is correct. Devin Bucciano up into the 2nd position. Coming down across the line, and Brett Merle trying to hold off his old teammate as Cody Moore back in the 3rd position. So let's go back a couple laps. To see what happened here to Gan Cyphers. Oh, Blaze Richardson got loose. Gannon got up into the grass. Devin Bucciano actually got a pretty decent piece of that. So did Cody Moore. Brian Merle Jr. As well. Matt Scott and Eddie Morris were able to get through. Let's ride along here with Devin and take a look to see what he just saw through this whole thing. Doesn't look like too much damage to the 68 as Devin has gotten around Brett Merle, and here comes Cody Moore trying to take a look down to the inside of Devin Bucciano for the lead. And Cody Moore back to the point here on lap number 5. We're going to reboot our timing and scoring, so give that just a second. It's going to repopulate here. Hopefully all the logos are going to be correct when it repops up here, which it does. Just want to make sure that we are on the correct lap here. We are on lap 5. Perfect. For some reason everything kind of glitched for a second, so I want to make sure that we had the correct lap count on the side of the screen. Completely lost our time and scored this time. Give me just a moment as we get that back up and running. Issues for Rick Ward back here as he's looped it around. See, we can see what happened to the 34. May have had a little bit of help from Brian Boyd here. Oh, definitely had a little bit of help from Brian Boyd there. And fortunately for the 34, trying to make his way back down pit road. Get that damage fixed. So 25 laps to go. Devin Butchino's made his way back around Cody Moore. Let's see how the pass was made. Looks like Cody just kind of pulled over and let Devin back by. Not sure what that's about, but ooh, issues for the 41. Looks like he just connection issues there. Oh no, he went right off the track. And then more battling back here. Not sure what happened here. We saw a couple drivers doing some passing here as the drivers were really loose there coming down through turns 10 and 11. So some great battles all over the racetrack. And more issues for the 57 of Braxton Zog. Ooh, more issues for the 41. Charles Balance. This is the short chute between turns 1 and 2. So a tough break for Chucky, who's having quite a tough race here tonight. 29 of Matthew Fritz starting to run down the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, trying to outbreak him down into turn number 1. And his teammate right behind, Richard Hurst, takes a look down to the inside as they enter the S's. And that is not an opportunity, a real opportune place to make a pass. Brian Boyd now, who is a lap down, is letting these guys right on through. And oh no, issues for Eddie Morris. A little too much curb there, goes through the grass. Does he keep it off the wall? Yes, he does. A tough break for Eddie Morris. Devin Butchino is still in the lead. Let's take a look at the chat. What we got going on here. Jeffrey Belk said, clean start. Love to see it. Very clean start here in our second race. And Nancy said she watched last week on Noma TV. And again, we will have coverage back here on Intensity Broadcasting in 2 weeks. Jeffrey says, I prefer to call them eventual leaders. And yeah, as we see Cody Moore trying to make another move on Devin Butchino. And that's a great passing opportunity right there down into the bus stop. Directly off the nose, but not holding it up. Touch of assistance. Yeah, just a little touch of assistance there. And yeah, maybe Cody did get a little loose there in the carousel and had to chase him there. But right now, Cody Moore trying to find his way around the 68 of Devin Butchino. This is not a sight that Cody really saw much of in the first race. Now Cody trying to dive down to the inside of turn 11. It's going to be a drag race down to turn number 1. Cody Moore with the position to outbrake Devin Butchino down into turn number 1. Butchino trying to hold on to that spot as they go down. Can Butchino try to cross him over here off of turn number 1? No, he's going to have to tuck in behind. And as we know, the S's are not a place you want to try to make a pass. So now Butch back in the second position, and Matt Scott catching these guys out in front as well. So while the track is very unique, there's only a couple places that I would really consider passing zones. Down into turn 1, you can really outbrake people down into turn number 1. But you want to be single file coming up through the S's. You can outbrake people going down into the bus stop. The carousel, you can go side by side. You can make some moves there. And then right here, the last 2 corners are some awesome passing opportunities as well. So it looks like some issues for David Hartney down into the bus stop. Yeah, just a little bit too much curb. Truck got a little loose and just barely kisses the tires there in the bus stop. Ooh, right behind that was Matt Scott, who was sideways drifting it through turn number 1, trying to catch these boys. Says Cody is just strong in the heavy braking zone. Truck seems to be on rails. Yeah, that 52 is always strong at the road courses. Of course, Jeff, good to see you in the chat. Wish you were here out on the racetrack, but good to see you either way, regardless whether it's on the racetrack or in the chat. Runs a little wide there off of turn 10. As we have 20 laps to go, and I figure these boys are probably going to split this run. 30-lap race. Imagine everybody's going to try to make their pit stops between laps 14 and 16. Make it a one-stop. Obviously, it's going to be a one-stop race, but split the race in half. And I think that's what a lot of these drivers are doing. Some people might try to short pit. But we'll see exactly what these guys do. As Cody Moore is just pulling away from Devin Butchino. We saw that truck completely sideways through the S's, but able to keep moving forward. And he is continuing to pull away from the 68 of Devin Butchino. Further back, we've got a gaggle of trucks here Brett Merle, Brian Merle Jr., Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, David Hartney, and the 29 of Matthew Fritz, all in this group here as they try to sort things out, coming through the short chute between turns 10 and 11. And that's also allowing the 21 Richard Hurst up into the mix here as well. So as they're going to go 3 wide down into turn at number 1, David Hartney making a move, getting 2 into turn number 1. What a move up the middle. So Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence now going to retake that position as Hartney just got really loose. Oh, he's almost got into his teammate there as they are side by side through the S's, and that is not where you want to be side by side at all. That's going to really slow down. Oh, Hartney got really loose there, able to keep it off the Armco, but Cheeseburger Lawrence is going to retake the lead. Look at this gaggle of trucks down into the bus stop, and everybody able to make it through somehow. Man, what great racing here with these drivers right here, and this is not something you normally see. Watkins Glen, you see everything kind of stretching out, spreading out. But right now, we're seeing some fantastic side-by-side and some wild racing here as the field comes down the front stretch and down into turn number 1. And we see Cheeseburger losing a position to the 21 of Richard Hurst. Our pump-up camera views just to take a look and watch this battle as Romo and Brian Merle Jr. are side by side. But there's just so many trucks in this little group here as we see blocking being thrown, there's a couple blocks being thrown as well. One thing you don't notice on TV is just how much elevation change there is as you come through turn number 5, that carousel. As you know, a couple of years ago, the SCSRA boys, Eddie Morris, myself, Joe Wright, Dave Wright, we got together and went to Watkins Glen as a bunch of drivers make their way down pit road. Eddie Morris is on pit road, Brian Merle Jr., Michael Provolt, both down on pit road. So, as I mentioned, drivers trying to split this in half, and we're starting to see that right now. I said pit stops would be between 14 and 16, and that's exactly what we're seeing. But we all did go to Watkins Glen, and when you're there in person, you really appreciate the elevation changes that this track has, because you really can't see it on TV. So see if Cody Moore, no, Cody Moore is going to bypass pit road. Devin Butchino is going to take that hard right-hand turn. So is it Matthew Scott. See what Joe Wright does here as he makes his way towards pit road. And Joe passes right by pit road. So quite a few of the front runners already making their way down on pit road to get their service done. Here comes the 29 of Fritz, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, Richard Hurst, Jay Stinson, Matt Allen, all down on pit road. Dave Hartney stays out. Here comes Ryan Gomes. Riley Gomes stays out. Brett Merle's already been down on pit road. He pit real early on lap number 13. So when is Cody going to make his way down pit road for his service? How many people learned something in that first race? And here comes Cody down on pit road. Does anybody take fuel only? Joe Wright now making his way off of turn number 10. Does Joe lead a lap or does he peel off on the pit road? He's going to stay out another lap. Here comes Bucino now through turns 10 and 11. Cody Moore still stationary. Devin Bucino off of turn number 11. Where's Cody? Let's watch the race. There goes Bucino. Right on by Cody Moore. Cody was able to get off of pit road out in front. And Cody Moore continues to lead here. I thought Butch was going to get him there off of pit road, but no. Cody was able to stay out in front. David Hartney on pit road. Does Joe Wright make his way down pit road this time? Right. Again, the Rochester, New York native. Making his way now off of turn number 11, and this time Joe is going to pass pit road. So Joe Wright trying to do something a little different, maybe running a little different strategy here, hoping that something happens amongst the leaders that puts him in a position. But Cody Moore out in front of Devin Bucino by just under a second. Ooh, issues for Gannon Cyphers around here as the leaders are coming by. Let's take a look to see what happened to the driver of the 2 machine. Yeah, that painted surface does not have as much grip as the rest of the racetrack, and you wouldn't think that just because it's painted it would be as slick as it is, but it is incredibly slick when you hit that red and yellow surface. Doug said he saw Matthew Scott sideways on the camera change, and doesn't look like he stuffed it in the barrier as Joe Wright now on pit road, giving up the lead to Cody Moore. Matthew Scott still right here with our leaders. It looks like he was able to hold on to it. K-Doggy TDB says, what's up? Good to see you in the chat here. And oh, Dan Cypher's having some more issues through turn number 1. Again, catches that tire barrier between turns 1 and 2. So his rough night continues. As Cody Moore's great night continues, as he continues to stay out in front of Devin Bucino by a second and a half with just 12 laps to go. When they cross the line this time, it'll be 11 laps to go. A battle heating up here between Brian Merle Jr. and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, and Jay Stinson has looped it around down in turn number 1. So you can see what happened to the 31 driver. Looks like I see a lot of damage on that truck. I wonder if something happened before that. Let's take a look here, see if something happened where yeah, the 31 caught the end of pit road there. You see the damage to the left front, much like we saw in the doghouse race. Looks like the front end suspension damage on that 31 machine was a bit too much, and as he went down, yeah, you see that front tire flopping around. And the truck just not turning. We can take a look here if we go take a look here at the damage. See the fender coming off, and as the truck starts to roll, yeah, you see all that suspension damage. You'll see how much that front tire is bouncing around like that. That is a vibration that you do not want. He's coming down into the corner. He just has no grip. The truck will not turn. You see that front wheel just not turning at all. And issues for the 21 of Richard Hurst now down into turn number 1. The turn 1 seemed to be the trouble spot for almost everybody here tonight. As it looks like he just cooked it a little bit, got a little loose, and able to hold on to it. So great save for the 21. Cody Moore now a 2.2 second lead over Devin Butchino, who has the lap truck of Riley Gomes right here between them, as Devin's going to take a look down to the inside and dispatch the 9 of Gomes with ease. And set his sights back on the 52 of Cody Moore. We'll battle back here as Matt Allen's going to outbrake Michael Provolt down into turn number 1. Provolt, though, almost tried to cross him over as they come down through the short chute towards the S's and move Matt Allen up into the 11th position. This battle is continuing between Brian Merle Jr. and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, and right behind we see Brett Merle not too far, and Dave Hartney in the 10th spot. So, issues for Charles Ballance. He is around. Not sure where that is located. This is turn number 1 here. Who just lost it a little bit trying to get back going, and who catches that wall. Heavy damage to the 41. I believe that is going to do it for Charles Ballance here tonight. But we have 9 laps to go. Jeffrey Buck says that thing is wobbling. And K-Doggy says, yeah, I think I got a little too much on the new damage model. You know, these trucks don't take the beating that the next gen cars do. I haven't had a chance to drive the trucks yet, so it's hard for me to say anything. But it looks like, from what I'm seeing, is it might be a little. You say it's a little extreme, but I think it might be right on the spot. You catch the wall, you catch the barrier that hard, you're definitely going to do some suspension damage to that machine. As these drivers make their way off the carousel, getting around the 77 of Brian Boyd. Down the short chute towards turn number 10. K-Dog says he bent something in the steering at Darlington when I hit the wall early. Didn't have any optional damage. That's strange. Usually if there's any kind of damage, it would be optional. And Jeffrey Belk says next gen could take a hit from an E5 and keep rolling. That is for sure. Those cars are built incredibly tough. With 7 laps to go, Cody Moore has a 2.4 second lead over Devin Butchino as this battle is heating up between Brian Merle Jr., Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, and David Hartney overcooks it trying to get the position, almost gets into his teammate. More trouble for the 2 of Gannon Cyphers around right in front of that battle that we were just watching. Dave Hartney taking a look down to the inside of Cheeseburger down into turn number 10. And Hartney is going to take that position away. Now he's going to set his sights on Brian Merle Jr. Let's take a look to see what happened to Gannon here. Might have had a little bit of help here. No, just got up into the marbles and looped the truck around. Issues here for the 21 of Hurst as well, coming down into the bus stop. Just a little bit too much of that curb, looped it right around. And David Hartney has now gotten his way around Brian Merle Jr. Let's see how the pass happened. Oh yeah, down into turn number 1. Fantastic passing zone, and Hartney just textbook there. Able to outbrake Jr. Jr. tried to fight back on the inside as Cheeseburger caught the inside wall. But Jr. doing the wise thing, backing out here before trying to go through the S's. And again, textbook pass for the driver of the 43 machine. Dave Wright said Eddie Morris out here with his own bot squad. Dave, too bad you weren't out here on the track. I know this is your home track for you, but good to see you there in the chat. And then K-Dog says, these guys are put on a race. Jeffrey Belk says, always do. Yeah, this is some fantastic racing around here as we see another battle heating up between Brett Merle and Matt Allen. Cheeseburger in the mix here as well. And Michael Provolt trying to get up into this mix here as well. It looks like more issues for Gannon Cyphers. I think Gannon has called it quits here, is right here in front of Michael Provolt. Same thing as before, got up into the marbles and then just lost. I think he's got a little bit of suspension damage as well as he stuffed it in the tire barrier outside of the carousel. And he has retired from the race as well. So 5 laps to go. Cody Moore out in front. Just had some issues trying to get around the 55 of Ryan Gomes. How about Eddie Morris? Had some issues, spun out in the bus stop. He's now driven himself back up into the 4th position. He is 12 seconds behind third place Matthew Scott. But having a very solid race. Cody Moore trying to sweep both races here tonight. As Devin Butchino got loose there off of turn number 1. Lost some ground to Cody Moore. The gap now 4 seconds from 1st to 2nd. And issues for Matt Allen. This looks like it's down off of turn number 1, and that's been... No, I take that back. That is through the bus stop. Got a little loose, caught the grass, and just tried to get it woed down. Did not hit anything. So no harm, no foul as he's now getting passed by the leader to be put a lap down. He gets way wide and out of the way. And Cody Moore has now lapped all but the top 11 here tonight at Watkins Glen. If Butch has been saving anything, you better punch it out. Oh no, Brian Boyd, you just saw him around right there as the leaders go by. Tricky turn 1 claims another one here. Down into turn number 1, we see the downshift, a little bit of wheel hop. That's exactly what we see. Loops it around, of course, holds the brake, doesn't move, allows the leaders to go by. That's a very, very smart thing, and that's situational awareness right there, knowing that people are coming. Just stay where you are. The most predictable thing you can do is not move. So good heads-up driving. Even though it's not the position that he wanted to be in, it's good heads-up driving for the driver of the 77. Pelk says if Devin's been saving anything, he's got to punch it now, and I don't think Devin's got enough time, being 5 seconds behind Cody Moore with 3 laps to go. 2 laps to go now as they come across the line. It's going to take a miracle for anything to happen for Devin Butchino to get the win here tonight. But it's Watkins Glen. Stranger things have happened. We've seen drivers just barely get off track and loop it around. We've seen drivers just dip the tires into the grass just a little bit. Cody Moore has been perfect here tonight. But that doesn't mean that something could happen. We could have a driver spin out right in front of the leader and collect him, and that could change the whole race. Butchino trying to use as much of the track as he can. But Cody Moore is going to come off of turn number 11 and take the white flag. Devin Butchino, you see, just coming off of turn number 11, and you see how slideways he is right there. Devin Butchino trying to give everything he has. He was just completely sideways off of turn number 11. He's trying to give it his all to get up towards the leader here as Richard Hurst has some issues in turn number 1. Cody Moore, though, looks like it's going to be clear sailing for the 52 as he makes his way through the bus stop. Just a few corners left for Cody as he makes his way through the carousel. Down to turn number 10 and 11. Off the final corner, Cody Moore is going to sweep the doubleheader here at Watkins Glen. He takes the checkered flag. Devin Butchino is going to bring it home in second. And Matthew Scott off of turn number 11. He's going to bring it home in third. But what a run here tonight for Cody Moore. Getting the win in both races. Incredible run for the driver of the 52. Man, what a run. Cody Moore is going to make his way down to the start-finish line where they're going to take the pictures here. He's going to do a little celebration here before the pictures are taken. Let's take a look at our final results here. As Cody Moore gets the win. Devin Butchno comes home second. Matthew Scott, Eddie Morris, and Joe Wright, your top five. Matthew Fritz brings it home in sixth. Brian Merle Jr. seventh. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence eighth. Michael Provolt and Brett Merle, your top 10. Put that away for a second as Cody continues his celebration here at Watkins Glen. There you have it. Cody Moore celebrates here tonight in his victory in both races. Matt Allen comes home 11th. Ryan Gomes 12th. Richard Hurst back in 13th. Riley Gomes, Brian Boyd, your top 15. Dave Hartney, Rick Ward, Gannon Cyphers, Charles Balance, Blaze Richardson, and Braxton Zog round out the field here tonight in our Watkins Glen doubleheader as we get ready to talk to our top three. Starting with our third place finisher, Matthew Scott. Let me just get the camera view right here. And still waiting for drivers to make their way down to the waiting room. So while we wait just a moment more, we want to thank all of our great partners. Let's take a look real quick at the chat while we're waiting. Jeffrey Belk, absolute masterclass from Cody tonight. Worked through the field so quickly and completely deserving of the win. And boom, goes to Dynamite. Nancy Hickok says, good race tonight. Fun to watch. Congratulations to the winner. Thanks for the broadcast. Hopefully we can watch again next week. We'll be here next week right here on Intensity Broadcasting. So here we go. Let's talk to our third place finisher, Matt Scott. Matt, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh. How's it going, man?
Man, it's going well. Great run for you here tonight. Third in I think you came home third in both races, if I'm not correct. Is that right?
I came home fourth in the first one and third in the second.
Well, I didn't have the stats in front of me. I apologize. My scoring crashed halfway through the first race or second race. But, man, just great run for you overall. Good points tonight, considering it's double points with each race. So great job for that. Talk about the track out there. It looked like it was really, really slick out there, really hard to get the power down, and not many passing opportunities out there. Talk us through your racing and what you did tonight here to get yourself on the podium.
Yeah, it was just extremely greasy. I mean, that first race, I made a bad call on strategy there. I kind of fell back a bit and ended up just having to take a shot in the dark. Went for just a fuel only and kind of screwed myself there. Second race, that turn one mayhem just kind of got me. Looking back, it looks like it was just a race and do. Got back to the field, happy my teammate won both, so that's a really good points night for wasted wages, and it's good points night overall, I think. I'm a little disappointed. It's always good when you can go home disappointed with a podium.
Well, a lot of mayhem out there on both starts, it looked like. I know you were up at front for the first start, but working your way through the field, that looked like it was pretty mad as well. Talk us through working through the field, and were you able to dispatch? You weren't able to dispatch them as quickly as Cody and Dev were there.
No, it just seemed like I hit people at just the wrong time. I mean, you really had to be quite a bit faster than somebody to get around them unless they made just a giant mistake. And it seemed like I was just catching people while they were racing, and I'm not about to just boot somebody out of the way. I mean, it was long racing, so at the end of the day, I'm still happy with third, but road course I'm usually a little better at, so I'll be running some more laps when we come here in the Cup Series.
Well, again, awesome job with the podium here tonight. Before we let you go, Matt, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
My fiance with the paint job, and then just everybody else. It's been a Good year so far. Everybody at Wasted Wages and everybody up in the booth. Thanks for what you guys do, and looking forward to the next one.
For sure, Melvin. And again, congrats and good luck next week. As I already forgot where we're going next week. Uh, Dover next week. How do you like your chances at Dover?
I really like Dover, but I also really thought that I liked road course, so we'll see. It'll just be another one of those deals where I know that this group saving tires is always a big deal because everybody's just about as fast as each other when it comes to those type of ovals. So we'll have our work cut out for us next week for sure.
Well, awesome job, man, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great night.
Buddy, thanks.
That was your third place finisher, Matt Scott. Let's bring in your second place finisher here tonight. Driver of the 68 Dev Sports Cars machine, Devin Butchno. Dev, you got second place in both races here tonight, just not enough to run down Cody. You looked like you might have had something for him in that second race, getting through the field so much quicker than him, but he just put on a show here tonight. Talk us through your race, your strategy, and what you could have maybe done differently.
Yeah, we definitely had a shot here. Sweeping last year. We're going for 4 and 5 in a row, hopefully. But just didn't have it, man. Um we just had a really hard time getting rear grip in second gear, and I think that started to eat the rear tires. I actually think we had a better shot in the first race, but we were catching lap traffic at probably the worst spots we could, whereas Cody was getting them in a little more favorable spots. The second run, we were racing Cody through the front. We got some damage. We got some X's on the way up through, and we beat him there. He just didn't get hung up enough. And then when he pit, I think both races we were ahead of him going into one, and then he beat us out after the access road. So just didn't have it. I think the only place we were really beating him was the bus stop. We were beating about 4 or 5 tenths a lap to the bus stop, but it ended up losing 4 or 5 tenths or 6 or 7 the rest of the lap. So we could never really close up that gap.
So you said you got a little bit of damage there in that second race, and we saw that. We actually rode along with you afterwards when that happened. It doesn't look like the truck has too much damage on it now, unless you took your reset during the caution there, or excuse me, the pit stop there. But how much damage did you have, and was it really affecting the truck? And how much of a pucker moment was that for you?
Yeah, the temps were fine, as a legend would say. But yeah, we got a little bit of rear damage in the back. Obviously in the back on lap 1 where we went to the inside and Cody came in late and got a piece of the grass and got us. So I don't know if that was affecting the looseness, on our drive off, and then that leaving the bus stop, Blaze got spun and he was parked right in front of us, nowhere we could go. And we were turning decent laps. The only thing we could really monitor were the temps, and they creeped up a little bit, but I guess as the race went on, they normally settled around that 230 mark. So no damage, no excuse. We did take the fasty, and it just wasn't enough today. I hate finishing second here. I hate finishing second this place so much, but Cody ran a really good race. He was really fast today, so congrats to him.
Yeah, like Matt Scott said, it's tough when you're disappointed for being on the podium, but man, a great run for both races for you here tonight. A great showing here tonight as well. And before I let you go, let's talk next week. You got Dover. How do you like your chances at the 1 mile?
Well, the last time we ran there, we finished second to Cody as well, so he'll definitely be the guy to beat. And if Nudi's racing, he'll be the guy to beat there. Dover's a really fun track. Can be a very difficult track, so it might be a race where short green flag stints, who puts tires on when, kind of like we've seen a couple times this season. Hopefully we get some green racing because these trucks are a lot of fun. The deep dive into entry and the driving up off the corner on exit. So I think we definitely have a shot to compete for a win, podium or top 5. I think we could definitely pull it off if bring home a clean truck and everything goes as it should.
Well, before I let you go, anyone want to thank any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank you, Josh, for spending your time doing this. We really appreciate you. Shout out Mission 22, great cause. A little better showing than we had with them on the next gen car. Thought we were going to park in a victory lane for them, but we're running them a couple more times. Shout out to Mission 22 and Boyd and all those guys. Dev Sports Cards, New Craft Fine Jewelry and Design, Level Up Subs, McKinleyville Barbershop. I forgot that last time, and Junior got upset with me. So McKinleyville Barbershop. Yeah, thank you again for doing this for us, Josh, on Tuesdays.
Nah, problem, man. I appreciate it. I had some good racing here tonight. It was a lot of fun, and good luck tomorrow night. It was a blast to watch up here too. So good luck tomorrow night, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, good luck tomorrow night as well, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow. So that was your second place finisher, Devin Butchno. Let's bring in the dominator here tonight, the driver of the 52 machine, Cody Moore. Cody, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, buddy.
Man, as I just said, dominating performance out of you here tonight. Sweeping both races. You guys were just tearing up through the field through that second run. Had that little issue out of the bus stop where the 33 was looped around, but it didn't seem to slow you down any as you were able just to drive back through the field and take the win in both races here tonight. Talk about your racing and how the track was and how much of a oh crap moment that was seeing that car parked off the bus stop.
Man, our Morris Customs number 52 Chevrolet tonight was on fire. It did everything I needed it to do. We even got lucky. Some of those I had 2 or 3 trucks spin out in front of me a couple times. Brett in the first race, we just weren't communicating, and I caught him through the S's there. So that was really kind of, I was nervous. I didn't know if I had engine damage or what, but apparently not. Worked out well. The second race, the strategy was I was going to play it cool. And then I saw Devin dive 3 wides. So I decided to dive 3 wide because I knew I had to stay with Devin, Matt, and Eddie. And so, I dove it 3 wide there, and that was sketchy. I think I caught the grass a little bit, but hopefully we all got through it. If we did get through it, I apologize to anyone who didn't get through it. But the rest of the race, just I'm sweating. Like that was probably the biggest physical performance I've ever had to do in one of these.
I mean, it's a good workout for sure, but it just seemed like you were able to outbrake people so much better into the corner than either anybody else on the racetrack. What was your secret to the braking? And is there a little bit of trail braking getting into the corner there? Because you just seem so smooth on the brakes here tonight, unlike anybody else out there.
Yeah. I was actually losing to Devin through the bus stop, which is really frustrating. Because it's not really a part of the track you can really experiment with. If you have a certain way of running it during the race, you kind of want to stick to it, even if it's slow. I got to go back and look at some telemetry and kind of see why I was so slow through that bus stop. I was in turn 1. I had Devin. He just had nothing for it. I think it's just the way I drive. I'm high revs. The revs are always up. Just hard, smooth braking right at that point where you're about to lose grip. If you feel any wheel spin, just or tire hop, just kind of give it some gas there, and that'll take you out of it. So I think I'm just kind of really used to doing that. I don't know if other drivers are doing that, but that's at least what I do.
Yeah, Jeffrey Belk was watching from the grandstands, and that was his exact words. He said, "Cody's just too strong in the heavy braking zones." So it was very, very noticeable from the broadcast. But man, a great run for you here tonight at Watkins Glen, sweeping both races. And we move on to, I know, one of your favorite tracks next week at Dover. How do you like your chances at the Monster Mile?
I feel really good in Dover in a truck. I think I've done really well the last few times we've gone there. I'm really looking forward to that race next week.
Well, a great job here tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. And before I let you go, who you got to shout out? Who you thinking here tonight?
I got to shout out to my beautiful wife, Maggie, Papa Moore watching at home, my mom, my beautiful children, Eddie Morris for this awesome paint job. Give him a ring. We'll get you set up. You and Intensity, Josh, amazing job every week. My teammate, Matt Scott, for actually showing up and running races with me. It would be nice if my other teammates did that. They can show up after the race, but they can't come to the race. So, I mean, I'm not going to say any names, but Will is in the waiting room. But anyway, So, and then just, my teammates and everyone else.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win. And we look forward to seeing what you do next week at Dover. So have yourself a great night, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Thanks, Josh.
Have a great night. So that was your winner, Cody Moore, here tonight at Watkins Glen. We want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube or on Twitch. We do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Check out our great partners down below in the links below, including Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs, Morris Customs for all your iRacing paints, and the Butt Kicker for any gaming haptics or music haptics. Like I said, there's a lot of things that they offer. You can check that all out down below in the description. That's going to do it for us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget, tomorrow night's race will be on Nora TV, so don't forget to check that out. The Next Gen Series will be taking off at Homestead, so Noma TV for the race tomorrow night, and then we'll be back here on Intensity after that. As our boy Atlee, Atman Weiss would say, over and out.